Welcome to the Be the Exception educational series.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something that, well, every single one of us has gone through. It's an experience that can weigh on us for days, years, or even decades. And that's the pain of being slighted.
And I want you to really think about this for a second. Have you ever been slighted? Of course you have. We all have, right? Maybe it was that parent who was just constantly critical, no matter what you did. Or a colleague, you know the type, who just straight up sabotaged your project. Could be an employee who stole from you, or even a spouse who cheated. The point is, you've got a genuine reason to be upset. So, what do you do now?
And what's crazy is how these things can just burrow deep inside you and stay there. I actually went through this myself with a business associate. I really pride myself on being the kind of person who doesn't let stuff get to me. But man, this one got me. I'd get that little pang in my stomach just thinking about it. It had this power, this dominion over me. And honestly, for the longest time, I had no clue why.
So what's going on here? Why do these feelings, these grudges, have such a powerful, lasting grip on us? Well, it all comes down to a battle, and it's happening right inside your own head.
Okay, so it all starts with the root of the problem. When someone does you wrong, it triggers this really deep feeling of being taken advantage of. You feel powerless, maybe even weak. And that feeling, that loss of control, that's the real source of the pain.
And you know what absolutely hates that feeling of vulnerability? Your ego. That is the kind of thing that gives an ego nightmares. Our ego can't stand feeling powerless. So when it gets injured like that, it feels threatened at its very core.
And that is when the reaction kicks in. That injured ego, it just responds emotionally, right? It unleashes all this bitterness, resentment, anger, spite. And before you know it, those emotions have taken over. They've taken possession of you, psychologically, emotionally, and that, my friends, is why it is so incredibly hard to just let it go.
But here's the good news. There absolutely is a way to win this internal fight. But it starts with completely reframing what the battle is actually about.
Okay, listen to this, because it's important. You have to realize the battle isn't with them anymore. It's inside you. Whatever happened, it's in the past. It's over. But if they are still controlling your emotions, right here, right now, well, then they get to win twice. And we are not going to let that happen. No way.
So here is the crucial point, the big takeaway. Forgiveness, it's not surrender. It is victory. You are not forgiving them for their sake. You're forgiving them for your sake. Let me say that again. It's for you. This isn't about saying what they did was okay. It's about freeing yourself from a past event that's holding you hostage. It's about you finally releasing yourself.
And you know what? There's a simple 3-step formula for winning this grudge match. It's all about taking back control. It's forgiveness, empathy, and learning. Let's break down exactly how it works.
So step 1 is forgiveness, and like we said, that's all about you. Now, step 2, this is where you try to switch places, just for a moment. I learned to never hold it against my mother for giving me up as a kid, because I came to realize she just did the best she could, considering her own really troubled upbringing. When you can start to see the other person as, someone who is probably troubled for reasons you can't even imagine, that anger, it can actually transform into empathy. And that right there is when that demon that has a hold on you is finally exercised. Which brings us to step 3, learn. I love this quote. I'm a one-cheek guy. Slap me once, shame on you. Slap me twice, oh hell no. And that just illustrates it perfectly, right? Forgive, yes, but do not forget. Adversity is there to be a teacher. You can absolutely say, I forgive you, and never again in the very same breath. You might get slapped on one cheek, but you'll be damned if you're going to turn the other one. Shame on them for the first time, but you better believe there will not be a second time. Okay, so when you actually put this all together, you forgive for yourself, you find some empathy, you learn the lesson, how does that actually lead to the ultimate victory? Well, what happens is this powerful transformation. You literally move from that toxic, corrosive anger to a place of empathy, and then finally, you actually arrive at gratitude. Yeah, you heard me right, gratitude. Why? Because you are stronger, you're wiser, and you are better for having gone through it. That is the ultimate win.
So, now it's your turn. I want you to think about it. Who is that person for you? Is it a parent, a sibling, a friend who's not a friend anymore, an ex? We all have someone. And just taking that very first step, deciding you're ready to let go, that is the real victory.
All right, so once you've freed yourself from the grudges of the past, how do you make sure you aren't trapped by the limitations of the present? Well, in our next explainer, we're going to explore the invisible cages that can limit our potential.
We're going to tell you the magnificent, but also tragic story of Moini. She was the very first white tiger in the U.S. I mean, just a ferocious, powerful, incredible creature. But for years, she lived in this tiny 12 by 12 foot cage. And then they gave her this massive, beautiful new habitat. But guess what? She never left a small 12 by 12 foot corner of it. She stayed in her prison, even when the doors were thrown wide open.
Moini's story, as you can imagine, is such a powerful metaphor for the invisible cages we sometimes build around ourselves, cages built from our own conditioning. So next time, we're going to explore what those cages are, and, this is the important part, how you can finally break free. You're not going to want to miss it.